Hey folks, it's man once again. Coming at you with probably going to be a shorter type of review. One of two Patrick Swayze films I'm going to review because these were two films that were sent to me by a very nice guy named PerryFan49. And he had sent me two films, Letters from a Killer with Patrick Swayze and Green Dragon with Patrick Swayze. And this is what I'm talking about right now. And first off, it was nice to see Patrick Swayze again. I miss the guy. May he rest in peace. I was really sad when the day that he passed away because I've always been a Patrick Swayze fan. I love Ghost. I think Roadhouse is a great movie, entertaining. Uncommon Valor, his role in that. I love Uncommon Valor. Red Dawn. He's made a lot of really good movies. And there's still some that I want to pick up. Next of Kin, which I haven't seen that forever, so I would like to pick that up. Steel Dawn, which I don't even know if Steel Dawn is released on DVD. I think my friend Mike got the Blu-ray, but I don't know if that's an overseas Blu-ray, and if so, can you play it here? If not, Steel Dawn, that should have a DVD release. If it doesn't, that's BS. But anyway, I'm a fan of Patrick Swayze. It's sad what happened. But we're talking about Green Dragon, a story from a war that had been forgotten. Patrick Swayze and Forest Whitaker. Now, they're up front on the DVD cover, and it says it stars them, but it doesn't really star them. They're pretty much supporting roles. Patrick Swayze, he's the first name on the card, but he's in it sporadically. I mean, he's the gunny in this refugee camp. It takes place in 1975, and pretty much looking over all these Vietnamese immigrants at Camp Pendleton, and they're waiting to go off into America. It's more about the people inside the refugee camp. For example, you have this man named Ty, this guy here with glasses who's riding with Patrick Swayze. He's watching these two kids, including this one here, and he wants to stay there as long as they can to see if the kid's mom and dad will arrive, particularly the mom. And then, of course, finding out what happened that later on that they didn't quite make it. And other people, you have this woman who was with this guy, married this guy to try to get her family out, but then she didn't know that the guy had a second wife because the guy never told her. And then they go out in the field, and she doesn't really love the guy, but lets him make love to her. And then a guy that she did love arrives, and you have a little bit of drama with that. This little kid who's with the Thai character, this little kid becomes friends with Forest Whitaker, who's a cook, who loves to paint, paints Mighty Mouse for the little kid, bonds with the little kid, shows him this big painting on the wall that Forest Whitaker made, and gives a little bit of his backstory, where when he was a kid, his mom died, his father had put a cigar burn on his hand and left, and that's where the Green Dragon title comes in, because Forest Whitaker had painted a green dragon about how, well, when he was a kid, he would wish that the Green Dragon would take him to go find his father. You know, the father sounds like a jerk-off. And once in a while, Patrick Swayze pops in, who is this Thai character is the translator for Patrick Swayze. And the acting is fine. The acting's not the problem. Different kind of movie. Not many movies where it takes place in a refugee camp. And one thing I give credit to, it doesn't play with a lot of the cliches. For example, oh, one of the Marines will try to rape one of the Vietnamese women, or the Marines, the Americans treat them like absolute dog shit, and they have to rebel. It's nothing like that, and which I appreciated. It's more about following these select Vietnamese refugees and them living in this refugee camp for the little bits that they are. And like I said, Forrest Whitaker's not in the film. He's in sporadically to bond with this kid, and then he disappears because his character dies from terminal illness. So Forrest Whitaker, he's not in the film as much as this. And in fact, these two characters never talk to each other. I don't remember one scene where these two shared with each other. It was kind of strange. So when you look at the title, well, I shouldn't say the title. When you look at the cover, it's not really the film you're thinking, because these two don't really have gigantic roles. It's more about the, I'm going to fuck up these names, Don Duan and Hippolyte Chon Nguyen. Probably messed it up. They're really the stars of the movie. It's more about their story. But the acting's great. Patrick Swayze, he's a good guy. He's not an asshole. He's a good gunny. He tells a nice little bit of dialogue between him and Ty about how his brother went over there and didn't want to go back, but went back anyway, and how his brother died. Forrest Whitaker, he's a very good actor. Patrick Swayze, another solid actor. Again, I do miss him. That's one of the joys of watching this. Solid dramatic work. I mean, I don't really have much problems with the film, but it's not a film I'd watch again, because again, these aren't really the stars of the movie. I probably would prefer if these two were the actual stars of the movie and they're in it throughout the majority of the film. But they're in this pretty sporadically. Of course, when Forrest Whitaker dies, which you don't see, you just hear about, he's not in the film for the rest of it. But still solid performances. And actually, Andrew Stevens was one of the producers. Andrew Stevens, if you know B movies, you've heard of this guy. And also, Forrest Whitaker was an executive producer on this. From the filmmakers of 3 Seasons, I'm not sure what 3 Seasons happens to be. But it's pretty much, it says on the bat, unlikely bond of friendship is formed between 2 men from opposite sides of one of the world's most infamous and bloodiest wars. It's a small part, the friendship between Ty and Patrick Swayze, but again, Patrick Swayze's not in the film. I'm not saying he's in it for 5 minutes. I'm not saying that, but it's pretty sporadically. And good chunks with these other characters and people in the refugees being angry about what certain things, or wanting to go back into Vietnam to find their missing family, or finding out that a person they loved died, or a little bit of confrontation between Ty and Patrick Swayze because there's no room in the camp, so when the number comes up they have to move people. But then Ty says, well, they're afraid of what will happen, that they'll never find their families again, who are missing, they'll never see them again. But it's more of a, it don't sound weird, slice of life, dramatic flick that takes place in this refugee camp, Camp Pendleton. But again, I like the fact they don't play in the refugees that the Americans are evil and they treating everyone like shit, and it's nothing like that. It's just sort of a slice of life. So if you like these actors and you like dramas that take place during that wartime, I mean, don't go in this expecting action. There's 0 action in the film. And really is strictly a dramatic slice of life. I keep saying slice of life, that's the best way I could describe it. And if you're wondering, there are features. There's a commentary with the director and cinematographer. There's a little 20-minute behind-the-scenes documentary, some deleted scenes, some bonus trailers, an article called Light and Life in Green Dragon. Grand Jury Prize nominee for Sundance Film Festival. But yeah, it was nice to see for the performances. And being a fan of Patrick Swayze, it's nice for the Patrick Swayze collection. But that's Green Dragon. But yeah, this is a shorter than usual review because it's a pretty straightforward film. And really, it's going to be one of those things, if you check out the trailer, if it interests you, fine. If not, that's fine too. It's not a film I can see myself watching much. But at the same time, I can't really say there's much. It's not a poorly made film. The performances are solid. And I think I was just disappointed because these two are not really the big stars of the movie. I mean, they're in the film and sporadically, but it's not really about these two guys. And, I mean, again, these two guys don't even share screen together, for what I remember. But anyway, that's just my short little review of Green Dragon, just some thoughts on it. But either way, thanks for watching, take care, and stay tuned for another review of another Patrick Swayze film that was sent to me, Letters from a Killer. See you in a bit.